Carol, it's a sacred responsibility, much, much more than a job, because you're a powerhouse of community caring. People often, not at their greatest confidence level, need you, and you come and you make their lives that bit more easy in what you do.
Yes, as a specialist community public health nurse, a health visitor, we are in a very privileged position in that every woman that is pregnant and going to have a baby, that we come into their lives.
Yes.
We are qualified nurses registered on the NMC, and we go on then following our first level of training, whether it's as a registered nurse, adult, mental health, or children's nurse, or you could be a midwife, or a combination of both. And we do an extra year of training at the University of Ulster as a specialist community public health nursing, and we learn a lot about family life, living in the community, public health, child development, child care. So we are in a unique position then to help parents and enjoy being parents and have a healthy, happy baby.
And it all starts with the commencement of the pregnancy. When the lady becomes pregnant, your interest in her and hers in you begins.
Yes. Our first contact with a pregnant lady will be at around the 28 to 36 weeks of the pregnancy. Prior to that, it's our midwifery colleagues who we work very closely with, who take care of the lady during her pregnancy. But we have an opportunity then to meet our new pregnant mummy along with her partner, stroke father of the baby, and introduce ourselves and start building our professional relationship with the mummy. We check how her pregnancy has gone so that she can tell us about how well she is feeling during her pregnancy, if she's any worries or concerns. We commence our family health assessment at that stage, which is finding out a little bit about where the mummy is going to live, where she's living now, who's going to support her.
You're doing that on behalf of the baby, really? Or is it a combination of family? That's a nice phrase, family health. Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
Because this baby is going to come into a family, mummy, daddy, and so that baby's journey through life will be as healthy and as happy and as enriching as we possibly can help and provide the parents with that support, so that when the child is starting school, that they've had a very good supportive background.
Because the first classroom is the home.
Yes.
And we start there, and you're coming in and you're helpful and you're all working together. And this little mite sitting there in a basket or a pram or whatever, and wow, we're going to make you good. And we're all going to be happy together, kind of thing.
Yes.
You can pick up on problems early on, can you? You're well trained for that.
I think the health visitors are in a unique position to build up that relationship and establish, I suppose beforehand, establish a relationship with the parents, and develop that relationship through a period of time. And our period of time with them is that meeting them in the pregnancy and right through to the child starts school. And yes, you build up your professional relationship and you get to know one another, and we're working in partnership with the parents, providing them with the support and advice and guidance that they need, and that they, through we do a really intensive, I suppose, what we call a holistic assessment, which is about looking at the environment they live, their social context, their health needs, the health of the mummy, the parents, the child, and indeed if there's a wider family network and
You're interested in
the
that
community.
as well. That's all part and parcel of it.
Absolutely, yes.
Do you find it hard, because you're with the family up until the child is 5, do you find it hard to switch off and get away from it, back off it? Because you've formed a friendship, a loving contact. You get to love the little creature. Oh, did I say creature? I did.
That's okay. Well, you
I had 5 of them, by the way.
Well, you nurture, I suppose, your professional relationship as much as we want the parents to nurture their relationship with their baby and their child, so that that we're giving them the best possible experience, that you're also nurturing your relationship with them, that parents know you, they know that if they do have a worry or concern, they'll lift the phone.
Absolutely. What sort of worries and concerns present?
Well, in the early days, it's the adjustment to the changes in their lives. Suddenly you have, pregnancy for most people is a very exciting, you're looking forward to the future time and whatever. And then the realities of having that newborn
Morning
baby.
sickness.
Well,
Even
that's
before that.
Way.
It was terrible. All the things I had to put up with the morning sickness, it was dreadful. I had to do dishes for a start. I had to iron my own shirts. All of that had to occur.
That was good.
But you want to talk to fathers as well, partners as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I suppose the major thing is when you come home from hospital with that baby, that, most people are only in hospital now after they have their baby. It could be in as little as 6 hours or maybe 24 hours. So you're coming home with a brand new wee baby that has so many needs and so many demands on you as parents.
In all honesty, you're bringing,
bringing it all back to you.
You're bringing a tear to my hard eyes, because I had 5 girls, and I remember each and every one of them. And the last of them, I was present at the birth, and I had the most lovely cup of tea and toast afterwards. I always remember it. That was great.
I hope your wife had that lovely cup of tea and toast as well.
Never thought. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she did. But are there problems of a serious? It all goes well, doesn't it? Are there times you've got to take hard decisions, and maybe people are not behaving the way they should be? Whatever.
When you have your relationship with the new parents at an earlier stage, and you're building up that rapport with them, and they get to know you, and it's a trusting relationship in that they know that you're coming in as someone with information and knowledge that can help them look after their baby and bring them through the stages. I was going to say that in the early stages, when you come home with a new baby, it can be quite overwhelming.
And you're tired. Things as well.
Absolutely. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're excited, and there's so many things going on. And I suppose that's one of the early things that we like to do, is establish how well is that young parent, the mummy and the daddy, adjusting to the new demands that's in their lives. And at the same time, we have a new baby who is very rapidly growing in development from day one. The changes from a baby that you bring home on day one, even to 6 or 8 weeks.
Oh, yes.
There's so much going on. So it's bringing the parents along on to prepare them, I suppose, for what's happening now, but also to prepare them for the next stage of development. Because if you don't know what the stages of your child's development is, it's going to be a wee bit more difficult to understand. Like, why is the baby crying? You asked me what would be the issues.
Teeth.
Well, even in the early days.
But I'm right, yes?
Yes,
teeth,
yes.
There you are.
In the early days, the baby crying that's the baby's means of telling you that they want something.
Yes.
Now, obviously, they can't verbalize it, but they can cry. So for new parents to learn what the different types of crying mean, and very quickly...
There are different types of crying.
There's a range of different cries, but it's amazing how if you explain to the parents that they very quickly do realise, that's the cry that the baby's hungry, that's the baby crying because maybe their nappy needs
Get
changed.
it changed now, please.
Yeah. Or it might be a way of saying, I want a little bit of attention. And good attention is taking your baby in your arms and cuddling it and talking to it and making sure that you've got good eye contact.
But I wouldn't have to do that as a father, would I?
We would definitely want you to do that as a father. It's very important. As soon as a wee baby is born, the new research now is, or it's been in for a wee while, is that as soon as the baby's born, we like the baby to have the skin-to-skin contact with the mummy.
Yes.
And it's the mummy first and foremost. So the daddies want the skin-to-skin contact as well. But it's very important for the mummies because that little baby's been tucked up in there for the first few months, and then that's who the baby knows.
Yeah.
And it also is a great way for the mummy to connect
with
the baby. And we do know that in the early weeks, well, the last 3 months of pregnancy and the first year of life, the baby's brain development is developing very rapidly. And it's so important to key into that rapid period of development where you can really let this know your baby, get tuned in with the baby, have good eye contact, cuddling, talking, reading to the baby, singing to the baby. That lovely singing that
Wow.
you did earlier on would be lovely. All of those things are really good because you're developing the
Yeah.
baby's social and emotional development.
I find with babies, tiny babies, if they're crying, if you go, it's almost a Buddhistic thing. If you go, "Mwah," and the baby will shut up just to get you to stop. You
The
know.
baby will probably copy it because that's what they do as well.
Joking me.
It's amazing if you watch a baby and you do that sound.
Yes.
That baby will be making every effort, even if it's only a few hours old, will be making every effort maybe to, imitate the shape of your
Yes,
mouth or to
yes.
try and make that. And that's our new, as
So
opposed...
intelligence is fully formed at that stage. Intelligence
Well,
doesn't
they're
grow.
there. They need to just get the brain, as we call it,
Yeah.
it's wired with connections. So it's tapping in to those connections and building on it. And then if you build in that, particularly in the latter stages during pregnancy and the first year of life, you are building a baby's emotional and physical development that will promote them to have great resilience and to deal better with stress in later life.
Oh yeah, we don't want stress.
Now, you asked me there about when things maybe go wrong.
Yeah.
So that's whenever we have, the parents are healthy and well, and you asked me about things that maybe, don't go so well. Sometimes mums in the early weeks get very tired, and that tiredness can be a symptom maybe of postnatal depression.
Wow, that's a big thing.
That's a big thing,
Yeah.
and lots of our mummies do have postnatal depression, and that's where the health visitor, in that her contact with the parents, will get to know the mummy and they will recognise the factors or the symptoms that maybe mummy hasn't sort of realised that that's how she's feeling, because sometimes mummies will say, oh, that baby doesn't like me, or I'm no good of a mummy at this and whatever. And it's because they are they're tired. So through discussion with the health visitor, and the health visitor it's called the Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale. It's a questionnaire there's 12 questions on it. And the mummy completes that in whenever they're about 6 or 8 weeks after the baby. And it's a great tool we use for discussing the emotional health of the mummy.
And is it fixable, this postnatal
Absolutely.
depression?
Absolutely.
And you don't have to bucket medicine into them or anything?
Well, it's
So to speak. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
yes,
to
it's
put
a
it that rough.
combination of things. The early detection and recognition of it, and explaining to the mummy that this is what she's experiencing,
Yes.
because it can be very frightening.
But in depression, she may not wish to listen to you. That's the nature of
she
depression.
may not even
Denial.
exactly, yes. But in recognising, and sometimes what we find is that when you do sort of name it or say, look, I think this is what you're experiencing, it's actually a reassurance, because inside all their feelings they have will be that they are a useless mummy, that it's not working well, they're no good as a parent, as a wife, a mother, or whatever. But when you sort of explain, because it's like everything else, there's a little bit of information out there, but maybe not enough information. And when they hear that coming from a trusted professional that's visiting them, that they've already built up that rapport, they'll listen.
Yeah, of course
And
they will.
health
Of course they
visitors
will.
and the mother relationship is very important. And that you can then explore how they're feeling.
Yeah.
Now, yes, we would always ask the mummy that we would be asking her to go and see the GP,
Yes, of
to
course.
have a discussion whether they do need to go on medication. But actually allowing that mummy to have the opportunity to talk about her
That
feelings,
may be enough to do it.
to get some support. And this is again where the role of the partner or the father is very important, because the father may not have understood what's going on. So we would discuss that with the father as well. This is why your wife or your partner is feeling like this, but this is what we need you to do to support her through this period of time. And there is a journey there. They will get better, but we can't say you'll get better today or tomorrow. And it's about keeping them healthy, eating well, getting out for the fresh air, and at the same time enjoying their baby, because babies are very tuned into when things are not going right. So they will sense if mummy is a bit tense, down, or if there's a little bit whatever. So we want to get our mummies feeling better as soon as possible.
Of course.
So it's a partnership.
That thing about, I just have this vision of a young mother with her baby in a pram and a blue sky day, everybody happy. That's the ideal way. And they can reach that very, very quickly with the proper sort of communication.
With a
and all
good
the rest
support
of it.
and the combination of support. So it's a partnership.
How many people have you got in your operation? You're now managing the team.
I manage one of the health visiting teams in
many
the
on the
Newry
team?
more. In my team, there would be approximately 22 staff.
That's busy.
So we have 17, 18 health visitors.
That's
And
good.
in our team, we have also what we call skill mix. We have 3 staff nurses and 1 health visiting assistant. So that's our combination of our team who help us. Now, the health visitor is aligned to how you get a health visitor is that health visitors are aligned to GP practices. So
I thought it happened automatically.
No.
But who's the person that would come to the house and just see?
Yes, the health visitor will.
Yeah.
But how we actually get to the house is that health visitors are aligned to the GP practice. So every GP practice in this area has a named health visitor.
Oh, yes.
And it's usually 1 health visitor to a GP practice, or if it's a particularly big practice, there'll be 2 health visitors. So the health visitor then picks up what we call her caseload, which is her clients, because we don't call our client, they're not patients because they're usually healthy and well.
Yes.
So our clients is from the GP's practice population. And that's where we pick up. So we get notifications from our colleagues. This is where we all work in partnership and very good information sharing. The woman goes along to register that she's pregnant.
Yes.
Midwifery looks after them. Health visitors get the notifications so that we know to go out and do our visits. When the baby's born, we get the communication and the handover again from our midwives and tell us we go out and we visit the new birth visit whenever the baby's 10 to 14 days old. So can you see how we work very much in partnership?
I just don't know how I managed to grow up at all because I had none of that.
You probably had.
Just me ma and me, that was it.
Oh,
and
well.
my midwife was a woman called Ma Graham, and they were the only house on Mary Street. They were number 7, Mary Street. And the only house in Mary Street in Newry with a garden. There was a wee patch out the front, just a tiny patch. And I was born upstairs in the front room of number 5 Mary Street.
Oh my goodness.
And when I was born, I said, "Wah!" Like that kind of, I was shouting, it was a lovely shout, with good healthy lungs and all of that kind of thing. But I mean, there was none of all of what you've been talking about. How did people manage years ago?
Well, they probably did. It was different. As we move along, we're always learning new things. And that, I mean, babies are still being born.
Same way, aren't they, really?
Exactly. They still need to be fed. But we now know that feeding babies are very important, and that we would offer the new parents lots of information on the different types of feeding.
What about breastfeeding?
Yeah,
breast is best.
Breastfeeding is very important, and it is very healthy and very good for the baby. But we would like our parents to, have the information.
Make the decision themselves.
Make the decision, but learning lots about it. And do you see, remember when I was speaking to you about the skin to skin?
Oh, yes.
Some of our mummies who've maybe decided that they didn't want to breastfeed, but when they get that wee baby on there, and they can see lots of lovely things are flowing through their body, they'll say, maybe I'll give it a try. We've had lots of opportunities that mummies have then breastfed. So yes, breastfeeding is an excellent way to feed your baby.
I've got to ask you about, there are imbeciles who happen to be mothers who smoke. What can you do about that?
Again, well,
can you imprison them and take the baby away?
That's a very strong word. Well,
I hate people who smoke around babies.
I suppose
That's a strong word. I withdraw the word hate. I'm sorry.
It is not healthy to
No.
smoke in and around babies. So again, it's not that we're running into people's houses and you must do this, you must do that, and whatever. So we work in partnership and we build up the relationship, providing information. For instance, like this leaflet I brought along today, that's
Your mental health,
some things
yeah.
that health visitors do. This is our leaflet here about building up the baby's
Yes.
attachment and bonding and
Lovely.
whatever.
That's a happy baby. Look at the smile.
And our birth to 5 book and whatever is full of really good information. Every pregnant lady and mummy that gives birth to a baby will get one of those books. Look at those lovely books.
They're gorgeous books.
Full of lovely information.
But I still want you to stop mothers smoking. How
Yes.
do we do that?
So every opportunity we will, part of our family health assessment, we will be asking about lifestyle behaviours, which will include smoking, alcohol, drug misuse, and whatever.
Yeah.
So if someone says they're smokers, we will say, would you like some information? We'll maybe leave something with them. Then the next time, so we'll keep on asking. And pregnancy is a really good time where parents are much more highly motivated to maybe try and stop smoking. Or you might say, they'll say, well, right, we're not smoking in front of the baby, we'll go outside. And then we have to give them the information as well. We're building up the information
You
about
can
the
see
passive.
I couldn't be a health visitor. I'd be...
Well, we do have male health visitors.
Do you really?
There's not too many of them, but they
yeah.
are there.
Yeah.
But you then explain maybe about the dangers of passive smoking.
Oh, yes.
So you're layering up the information
course.
that you're given, and hopefully that they
You
will
can't-
see.
yeah, you
Because
can't change
that wee
the bad
baby
habits
has
of a
lovely
lifetime.
pink
Yeah.
lungs when it's
Yeah.
born.
Or often if the mother had been smoking during pregnancy, the baby can be born with a wheeze, for goodness sake. And it's just dreadful.
Yes.
It's dreadful.
So part of our assessment is that I suppose we're looking at the risk factors that are there. Some of the risk factors can be social, some of them can be clinical, and then the higher risk factors are what you're veering into there, like if there's drug, alcohol misuse, maybe if there's mental health issues, if there's quite a, domestic abuse and things like that there. But we're gathering up a picture, and our parents are very important to us, and we and we also would be encouraging our parents too that apart from when the different times that we go and visit, we go and visit when they're antenatal, and then during that 5-year period of time we visit the babies and the mummies when they're born, 6 to 8 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, 6 to 9 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So that's the routine times that we would actually have contact with our mummies, where we actually go and visit them in their homes, because the home visiting is very, very important. And then we have clinic-based visits as well.
So you would invite them to come to clinic?
Yes, and one of the most important things they come to the clinics obviously is for their immunisations, which is preventing serious communicable diseases that the children have, and thankfully most of the parents understand the importance of having their babies vaccinated.
You have a strong team. You have
I have a
numerically
very strong team. Yeah.
And from a skills point of view, you have a full panoply of skills there.
Yeah.
So you're a magnificent asset within the community. Do you ever feel threatened by budget cuts and stuff like that? Or are you above all of that?
Well,
no is the answer, I suppose.
I suppose our service is that value for money.
Yes.
That's the key, in that we are in a unique position to actually have that journey with our child, family, parents in the community.
Do you know, I'm going to interrupt you, because it's a lovely thing that you're doing, and you're doing it unconsciously. You're talking about our mothers. You're talking about our babies.
Well, that's
you're taking ownership. You're putting your arms around them.
Yes.
You're making sure that they're yours. Nobody's going to hurt anything that's yours.
No.
And that's a beautiful thing.
I think we are very precious about that.
Yeah, it's so
if
obvious.
you spoke to each of our health visitors, they talk about their caseload, their mummies, their families.
That's amazing.
So in a way, that is about bringing them into the fold.
Absolutely.
And I suppose the main things that we would like to feel that we're never above budget cut, because we've always got to make sure.
Manage well.
But we've got to make sure that we're using our resources well, and that our staff are well trained, and that we are out, because in our line of work, it's about being proactive, early intervention and prevention, because if we can actually detect and signpost people to services at a very early stage, you're actually saving a wealth of money. So we are a very good value for money. So you do have to be passionate about what you do now, and as I say, engage with your parents. And I'm going to use some words now that are a little bit jargon, but enabling parents and empowering them to make good decisions for themselves and for their baby, because we do want that wee baby to grow up a healthy child.
My observation is this. If you had been there in Mary Street assisting Ma Graham, I would have been a genius. I would have come out a total genius. I'm sure of this.
Well, we're just beside you there in Mary Street.
You're down
because we're based in John Mitchell Place.
My house was round the back of you.
Well,
my house in Mary Street was round the back, which was number 44. That's where I lived when I got married. And then as a boy, I grew up in the house next door to that.
There you go.
And so I know.
You could have sneaked in the back door to John Mitchell Place.
And many's the bit of sneaking I did. I remember getting out of the house once and going round into where the granite house is now.
Yes.
There was a stone mason's yard there. And the wash off from the granite goes into a reservoir. Which at the age of 5, didn't I fall into that? Nobody knew I was in it. But I got myself out of it. And there begun a lifelong association with the joy of the ocean and the sea and water and swimming and all the rest of it. You're happy in what you do.
Yes.
You're obviously
If I had to do my career over again, I would still do what I'm doing now.
Yeah. You wouldn't be much fussed in working with old people, would you?
Oh, no. In fact, in our earlier days in health visiting...
I was only joking there.
We used to actually... Our service was from the cradle to the grave, but obviously
go tell that to the government about hospice. They only give 30%. I'm going to kill hospice. So, government. Political campaign this year. Government properly fund the health service from the cradle to the grave. That's my rant. Finished.
Lovely.
We want to wish you good luck.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity to talk about health visiting.
Well, there's only one sin you can commit, and that's the sin of ignoring us in the future. We're here. We're at your service. The studio is yours.
Oh, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you
so very much indeed. Take care.
Thank you.